everyone, Fox is here, and I'm bringing you my May book haul. Surprisingly enough, even though I went to Chicago, I went to BookCon and I brought more books than I expected, about 14 or 15 books. I have a separate video about my experience at BookCon, including my BookCon book haul, so I'm going to post the links down below just for you to watch it. But today I'm bringing you a separate video with all the books that I bought in May. I have no idea how it happened. Completely out of blue, I acquired a whole bunch of books. I ordered some stuff back in April, and then I went some sort of on a shopping spree on book outlet, which is never a good thing. And yeah, and now I have a pile of books at my feet, and I don't even know what to do with it. I was doing so good in April. If you remember my April book haul, I bought just a couple of books in April, but yeah, well, let's get started. I'm not going to be showing those books in any sort of order. I will just go by different websites or bookstores that I bought the books from, and yeah, that's about it. Let's get started. I think I said let's get started at least 5 times. 6 times now. And the first book that I want to show you is actually a graphic novel. This is ElfQuest, The Final Quest, volume number 2. If you don't know, I'm a huge fan of ElfQuest. I have read pretty much all of the series. I read them for free on the creator's website, but I also purchased 2 omnibus editions, which are enormous, and absolutely love them. And this is the final quest. This is it. The series is done. It's been out for, I don't know, 20 years, 25 years. It feels as if it's all as old as I am. I'm not 25, by the way, but never mind, let's skip it. So this is volume number 2 that came out just at the beginning of May. I haven't started reading the final quest yet because to be honest, I'm not ready. I'm not ready, but just to give you an understanding, it's really colorful. It's really colorful, and it has to do about elves and about their connection to the wolves, and also it has other fantasy creatures out there, and there's a bit of a time travel in the later series. But if you want to start, I really highly recommend you start with the very beginning. You can go to just Google ElfQuest. I believe it's elfquest.com, and the creators are Wendy Pini and Richard Pini. I hope it's Pini, not Piney. That would be embarrassing. But anyways, that if you like fantasy and if you like graphic novels, do yourself a favor and go and check those out. Completely free on their website, still in color, because those 2 omnibus editions that I have of the complete series are unfortunate black and white. So yeah, I'm very excited about this one. It was one of my anticipated releases of 2016, and I've got it. So yay. The second book that I have is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. This is, as you know, an additional one of the books, like one of the textbooks from the Harry Potter world. I own all the Harry Potter books except for their textbooks, and since there is a new movie coming out I believe this November, I want to say, I'm not sure, but yeah, I decided to read it. I've never actually read this one, even though I read Harry Potter series itself multiple times, but I've never read this one. So I decided to pick it up, and it was on sale, I believe. So yeah, it's so thin. Hopefully I'll get to it very soon. Another book that I've got from Indigo, and I think I forgot to mention, but all of the books that I showed you so far are from Indigo Bookstore. So this is The Left Hand of Darkness, which is a very well-known book, highly acclaimed. I don't know what to say about this book except for I love it, but there is a lot of heartbreak in it. It's such an important book in the terms of the fiction development and sci-fi, and this book is stunning. If you, for whatever reason, have not read it, please do. It's a stunning sci-fi story with a lot of romance elements to it, but like I said, a lot of heartbreak too. So yeah, I'm excited to finally have my own copy. I was completely sure that I have it. I just thought it was somewhere in my parents' house, but I couldn't find it, and no idea. I was so sure I had it, so I have no idea where it went. But now I have my own copy here and I'm excited about it. Okay, next book that I have here is the book that I read a couple of months ago, and this is Hero by Perry Moore. I read the book, I got a copy from the library and I really enjoyed it. It's a YA fantasy slash sci-fi book with a focus on the main character who's gay and he wants to be a superhero. So he joins a band of superheroes, and at the same time he's trying to hide the fact from his father, who used to be a very, very well-known superhero, that he's gay. So yeah, there is sort of coming of age, coming out type of story mixed with superheroes. And you know what? I heard a lot of mixed things about this book. I personally really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads, and I decided to purchase my own copy. So yeah, here we go. Another book that I got is also graphic novel, very well known, Nimona. I read Nimona a couple of months ago and I absolutely loved it. And I was waiting for, an opportunity to purchase my own copy because I really wanted to have it. This is an absolutely lovely story about a main protagonist who decides to join basically a villain and become a sidekick. And she also has her own secret. She's a shapeshifter. So honestly to God, I love the story and I am looking forward to reading it again. If you have not picked up Nimona, I don't know, you probably are living under a rock or something, but please check this out. I think I gave it about 4.5 or 5 stars on Goodreads, and this book is really good. So it's YA, fantasy, yeah, and the main character, she rocks. She's really cool. Then I got 2 books from Amazon, and I didn't want to buy them. I got swept by the hype over those books, especially after visiting BookCon. And when I saw that those books were on a very good sale, very good price for hardbacks on Amazon, I just couldn't help myself. So I got myself A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas and A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. Look at those books. They're hardbacks. They're enormous. This one was like $13 and this one was less than 15, so like 14 something. It was a very good deal, and to be honest, I haven't read any of the Sarah J. Maas books yet, even though I do have book 1 in whatever her Glass of Thorn Glass series. I get confused a lot. So I do have a book number 1 in her other series, but I didn't have a chance to read it. I hear a lot of mixed reviews about this book, but everyone is saying that book number 2 is way better and it's worth reading this one to read the second one. I don't know, I want to try, so I decided to purchase it. I'm really intimidated by this book. It's been a while since I read something which was this thick, but you know what? I'm still looking forward to reading this book, so hopefully they will live up to my expectations. Then Book Outlet had a sale on, I believe, Mother's Day, and I purchased a whole bunch of books. And then I saw more books on sale there, and I kind of purchased them again. Yeah, okay, let's get started with that one. Okay, so what happened with Book Outlet is that I had to make a purchase of minimum, I think $30 or $35 to use my coupon, which kind of prompted me into buying books that I didn't really want to buy and I was actually planning to get from the library. And I feel a bit bad about it because I spent money, but at the same time those books were really at a good price, like really discounted. I don't even know. Yeah. So the first one is The Kiss of Deception. I've been eyeing this book for a while and everyone is saying how it's such a good story. I don't know. I'm trying to step away from YA books, but I just keep purchasing them. I don't know. Maybe I just need to go through a phase or something. So this is book number 1 in the trilogy, and we'll see. Hopefully I'll get to it very soon. Another book was actually recommended to me by my friend, and that's Sea of Shadows by Kelly Armstrong. I'm really interested in Kelly's writing just because she's a Canadian author, and I've been meaning to read one of her books for a while now. Saw this one on sale, decided to purchase it. It's a YA paranormal, I believe, fantasy type of story, and it's book number one in a trilogy called Sea of Shadows. I don't know much about it. I just know that my friend read it and she thought that this would be up my alley. So yeah, that's why I got it. Another book that I've got is The Invasion of the Tyrian by Erica Johansson. This is book number 2 in the Queen of the Tyrian series. I haven't read book number 1 yet, but once again, book number 1 was recommended to me by my friend, and she actually recommended it to me even before I got on Booktube. I never realized that everyone was reading the series. It's a YA slash adult fantasy series, and I heard very good things about it. So I could not help purchasing it because it was on sale and it's hardback, and I'm just excited to have it. Another book that I've got was also book that I just bought it because of the Booktube, and that's The Winner's Curse, book number 1 in the trilogy by Marie Rutkovsky. And yeah, I don't know, this type of the cover is quite opposite of what I usually go for. It looks just a bit too girly for me, to be honest, and I don't know much about this book except for it's some sort of fantasy world, and I believe it's not very heavy on magic or no magic at all, but it's definitely fantasy, and there is some interesting backstory too, and there is supposedly a very strong female character in it. I honestly know nothing about it. If you read it or know more about it, just let me know down below. I got it just because it was super cheap. I blame Booktube. I really do. Another book I also got because of Booktube. What else is new? But actually, I heard about this book and it was on my wish list for a while, and I was like, okay, I might as well purchase it. And this is Trial by Fire by Josephine Angelini. Also YA fantasy, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I don't know much about it, but I know that it's book number 1 in the trilogy, and it's pretty thin, and I like the cover, so I bought it. And yet another book number 1 in the series. Who would have thought, right? This is Snow Like Ashes by Sarah Rash. I was eyeing this book for a while. It's been probably almost a year, and I keep thinking that I want to read it because when I read the description about how there are different courts and there are like the system of the world, rotates around 4 seasons, I just decided that it was very interesting, and it's a YA fantasy novel, and I love fantasy. Even though I'm trying to get away from YA, it was super cheap, so I bought it. Here we go. Another book that I have here was actually for more, planned purchase, and that's Passenger by Andrew Smith. That's book number 2 in the duology, the Marlborough Lands. I want to call it series, but it's a duology. I read Andrew Smith, Grasshopper Jungle last summer. Absolutely loved it. It's really weird, and ever since then, I decided just compulsively to buy every single book by Andrew Smith because I just want to binge read him and just read nothing else. I cannot tell you much about it because I have not read book number 1 in the series yet, and I've been trying to chase this book because I got pretty much all of my books by Andrew Smith on Book Outlet, and I was trying to chase this book down on Book Outlet website for months now. I almost got it once. I put it in my cart, I purchased it, I placed the order, but once it was shipped, the book was not there. And I was really disappointed by it because it got sold out before it got shipped to me. And when I saw it and I got notification from Book Outlet that one of the things on my wish list were back in stock, I was like, yes, I have to get it. I have to get it because that's Andrew Smith, and he's one of the auto-buy authors for me. Another book that I've got, I really wanted to get my hands on, and that's Something Strange and Deadly by Susan Dennard. If you know, and I'm going to point this book here on the shelf behind me, I loved Truth Witch. Truth Witch was my favorite book so far in 2015. I'm sorry, 2016. Oh my god. It's 2016. I'm sorry. Okay, so Truth Witch was one of my favorite reads of 2016 so far. And I met Susan Denard at BookCon and she signed Truth Witch for me. And she was such a sweetheart. And she's really, really, really active on social media. So when I tweeted at her asking about something regarding Truth Witch, she said, "What? You haven't read my previous series?" I was like, no. So here we go. This is book number 1 in the trilogy. I don't know anything about it except for its YA and fantasy, and that's good for me. I'm also going, I have already purchased book number 2, and I'm going to purchase book number 3 today from Book Outlet if it's still available, because I want all of her books, and if it's even half as good as Truth Witch was, it's worth the price. So I'm really excited about this book. And also, look, it's kind of pretty. I'm not much into, girls on the cover or dresses, but I really like this background. Has sort of like metallic shine to it, and I really enjoy it. Another 2 books that I've got from Book Outlet were a bit of impulsive purchase, and I got them only because they sometimes appear on my recommendations list on Goodreads. And this is the Paranormal Casebooks of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. This is book, believe book number 1, The Revenant of Thraxton Hall, and book number 2, The Dead Assassin. They are by Vaughan and Whistle. So these 2 books, they just appeal to me. I'm a huge fan of Conan Doyle and I love Sherlock Holmes. And these books are apparently paranormal mysteries in which Conan Doyle and Oscar Wilde work together to solve mysteries. I just had to get those. I'm a fan of Conan Doyle and I'm a fan of Oscar Wilde. I just had to get them. So no idea. I know nothing about them. I would be very disappointed if they turn out to be horrible, but I just had to get them. So I got them. So yay. Here we go. We're almost done. I promise you. We're almost done. We're done with Book Outlet and we're done with Indigo, and I have just a couple of books more to show you. This book is one of those books that I had on my wish list on Amazon, I believe for the past 15 years. It's ridiculous. And so here I have The Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. This is book number 1 in trilogy. I have been meaning to read these books for years. I'm not even joking. It's kind of embarrassing. I even had a copy of these books back at my parents' house, but they're like really, really, really old copies. So I decided to purchase this one because when I saw these UK editions on Samantha's channel, I really, really liked the covers because this is a trade paperback UK edition, and the ones that they sell here in Canada or US are small mass market paperbacks, which are smaller and they have different covers, which I did not like, or huge hardbacks, which I don't want to have because I really have no space on my shelves. And I decided to purchase this one, and this is a really, really beautiful cover. I love it. The only problem that I have, and this is something that Samantha never mentioned on her channel, is that the font is tiny. I don't know if you can see it, but it's really tiny, and it's sort of gray. It's not like really black. I'm short-sighted, but I feel that I might have problem reading this book because it's a really, really tiny font. I do have a lot of mass market paperbacks. A lot of my favorite alt fantasy books are mass market paperbacks. And there is nothing wrong with that. It's just like I'm a bit surprised that this book is relatively thin. They could have made it thicker and increased the size of the font because yeah, it will probably just hurt me. But you know what? I'm really excited as Samantha is hosting a read-along for all the Robin Hobb books, and I'm excited to join her. Her read-along started on May 23rd, so I'm a bit late, and just because this book arrived just a couple of days ago. But I cannot wait to start reading it. I heard amazing things about these books. And yeah, I'm really, really, really excited. So I'm going to post a link to Samantha's video in which she describes her read along, and I will also post a link to a separate Goodreads group where she is talking about the books. And yeah, so yeah, if anyone is joining the read along, please let me know, because I've never joined read alongs before. I've never participated in them, but I'm excited about this one because it's been an embarrassing number of years since decided to, pick this one up. So, yay! Another book that I've got here, I purchased from my local bookstore, and this is Breath and Bone, book number 2 in Duology Flesh and Spirit by Carl Berg. Carol Berg is one of my favorite fantasy authors. It's been a while since I read any of her books, and funny story, I purchased Flesh and Spirit, book number 1, a while back, maybe like 10 years ago, and then I always meant to pick up Breath and Bone, but it just never happened. I was just waiting for it to be on sale, and it was never on sale. It's the book number 1 that I have is a trade paperback, so it's bigger in size than this mass market. But I always wanted to buy a book to match book number 1. I wanted it the same size. But the problem is that this book it just went out of stock on Amazon a while back, and I was waiting for it to come back, or maybe for Book Outlet to have it. But nothing was happening, and then I suddenly found it in my local store for only $1.99. Even though it's kind of used and it kind of has yellowish pages and some stains on it, and a bit of crease, like there's a couple of creases here. Still, $1.99 is a very good price for a used book, so I decided to pick it up for the sake of collection. And yes, this book is available on Kindle, but it's at $8.99, and I got this one for $1.99. So yeah, I'm excited to have it. I need to read book number 1, and hopefully I'll do it sometime this summer. Okay, the last book in my book haul is not actually a book. Well, it's a book, but it's a play. It's a play, The Judas Kiss by David Hare, and I watched The Judas Kiss a couple of months ago. It was on stage at Moravish with Rupert Everett as Oscar Wilde. So this play is about the final years of life of Oscar Wilde. It's actually about his trial and the last few years after the trial. It was a very emotional play. I really enjoyed it, and when I realized that it was actually based on an actual play by David Hare, and you know what? Sometimes my memory just surprises me, because I couldn't connect the dots right away, but when I did, I was like, oh my god, because The Judas Kiss was actually not the very first play that I watched by David Hare. I also watched Skylight, and I watched Beyond the Beautiful Forevers. Both were on stage at National Theatre and broadcasted by NT Live. In case you have already watched one of my NT Live videos, and I know that I have already filmed by this point 2 videos. One is my introduction to NT Live, and another one is my review of the most recent play that I watched in broadcast. I will put links to those videos down below if they are already on my channel. If not, you just have to wait, because I will be talking about David here, and I probably will talk about The Judas Kiss in a separate review video, because I want to read the play. I watched the play, but now I want to read it, and maybe I'll have something to say more about it. But I'm very excited to have it. It was a very, very emotional play, and it was at the same time incredibly funny, so I'm looking forward to reading this. Well, this is all with the books, but I also have 3 bookish items very quickly. And the very first one is a creative journal for fiction writers. This is not exactly a book, but it's a creative writer's notebook, and it contains writing exercises for inspirations and profiles of the most influential authors of the past century, including Franz Kafka, Virginia Woolf, Vladimir Nabokov, Margaret Atwood, and J.M. Coetzee. Okay, so since I've read books by all of those authors, and Franz Kafka, who's on the cover, is one of my favorites, I just had to get it. I bought it for $8.99 in Barnes and Nobles when I was in Chicago, and that was my only book purchase. I think I mentioned in my BookCon video that I was highly disappointed by Barnes and Nobles when I got there. Yeah, so I was not a fan of the bookstore, and I went to 2 or 3 stores in Chicago. And but when I saw this one on sale, it just got me really excited because I don't know, I saw Franz Kafka and I was like, yeah, I have to get it. Besides, I like writing, and even though I'm very bad with all creative writing or challenges, or journals or anything that has to do with an actual journal where you have to write or draw or do whatever, I'm very bad with that. But I'm happy I got it. At least there is something from Barnes and Noble. So yeah, here I go. Another notebook that I got from Indigo, but it was on sale. It's this coloring notebook, Life in Color. If you can tell, there are foxes here, and this is the cover. It's white and black. This is how it looks inside, with all of those, birds and all there, and the little fox in here. It's just lined notebook. Nothing special about it. I just thought that I really liked the concept of, coloring your own notebooks. And this book was on sale, and since it was a bit damaged, I also got a discount from Indigo, and I got it. The only reason why I got it is just because it's a perfect size. I believe it's A5 size, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, pretty much around A5, and this would fit perfectly into my Filofax. And if you don't know, I do have a Filofax journal, and I did an extensive video of my Filofax journal. I will put the link down below. I seem to be saying a lot this today, but yeah. And I really looking forward to having more foxes in my journal. So yeah, here we go. And the last but not least thing that I've got is actually this little pouch. I also got it from Indigo. It's their, I think, spring collection. I'm not sure which collection that is, but it was on sale because they just introduced another collection. It's blue inside. There is nothing inside really. It's just a pouch. And I realized that I need another pouch either for my pants or for some other small stuff that I carry with myself in my bag. It's canvas and it's colored. I just hope the color will not bleed because it's a very beautiful blue, navy blue color, which I absolutely love. And I also love this little thing here. So yeah, I'm excited to have it, and I got it on sale too. That's my book haul, plus a couple of bookish things that are not books. But yeah, here I go. I hope you really enjoyed it, and I really hope that you liked my new angle with my new shelves here. I did reorganize my shelves recently, and I've got my ARCs here and books that I've got from BookCon. Also Truthwitch that I'm really excited to have here, and some other stuff in here. And I'm also using a microphone, and this may not be the very first video with a microphone, but please let me know down below if you see or hear any differences in the quality of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you've read any of those books that I mentioned before, please let me know what you thought about them. I really do appreciate it. I know that I'm not a famous, or popular booktuber unlike some others, but I do appreciate every single person who follows me on Booktube. So far, I have 46 amazing followers, almost 50. I don't know how it happened. I just literally, I've been on Booktube for 3 months only, and I already have almost 50 people following me. Whoa, I have no idea how it happened, but thank you so much for watching me, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye! If you hear any sounds, that's my air conditioning, because finally summer is here in Canada and I am melting. I am dying. It's really hot, and anyway, yeah. Any other weird sounds? It's just me sitting on a very, very, very squeaky chair. Okay, back to the books. Then I got 2 more books from Indigo, and no, They're not from Indigo. I'm lying. Uh oh. I'm a liar.